Hey all you super players out there, Ben Lodice aka $5 Lunch, coming at you with deck profile for Anthony Figueroa's first place Invoker deck. He won the PPG Online Premier Tournament, the first one that they had, which by all accounts was very well run. I haven't seen really anyone complaining about it, which is surprising because it was using Untap. It's not the most stable platform, but everything seems to have run pretty well, so props to PPG for running a good tournament. Anthony ran Invoker, which, while at first appearance seems like a pretty standard list, I want to talk about some of the decisions he made in regards to the meta that became apparent in terms of what top aided. Unfortunately, we don't have a full account of like how many of each deck entered the tournament, which would be nice to see. I hope that PPG puts that up at some point. But one interesting thing that I noticed in the top 8 is a lack of hand destruction, which is something that was pretty surprising to me, as I thought that hand destruction was going to be pretty popular. Things like Frieza and like Goku, Green Goku, hand destruction builds, things like that. There was one Dredge Coup that was kind of hand destruction-y, but a lot like pure hand destruction. And it's interesting because Anthony chose a lot of his decisions based around that fact. So first off, obviously 4 Divine Obliterator, pretty standard. He only ran 3 Tyranny's costs, which is interesting because against hand destruction you would want more, whereas against more aggressive decks you would only want 3, which is what he went with. 3 Emperor's Death Bream's pretty standard, 3 Sleepy Boy Technique, 4 Vegeta, 3 Royal Condemnation, 3 Topo, which is interesting. The fact that he played 3 and not 4 tells me that he was more worried about aggressive decks that attacks with low amounts of battle cards rather than go wide. Things like, you probably expected things like Gohan and less things like Red Pilaf and things of that sort. 2 were in this together. This was very interesting to me because it tells me that he wasn't super scared of hand destruction, because this card is really, really good against hand destruction, because all you got to do is pay 1 red, add it back, and then it adds more things for them to discard out of your hand. For Catastrophic Blow, he chose to go with the version that only plays the 2 win conditions. He just played the Ultra Instinct Energy Explosion and the Apex of Power. He chose to not play the 8-drop Goku promo that untaps itself by warping extra cards from your drop. So in best of 1, I think he made the right choice. This deck is going to be a lot more consistent in doing what it wants to do, but a lot less flexible. And since he doesn't have to worry about people side decking against him, people side decking like cards out as Vegeta on turn 3, counterplays for the Energy Explosion, things of that sort, it's much better to run the more consistent but less flexible deck. So I think he made the right choice in not playing the 8-drop Goku and just sticking with the Catastrophic Blow combo and the Apex of Power. And speaking of which, so 3 Energy Explosion, pretty standard. Gotta have his 1x Apex of Power. 4 Dimension Magic. 3 Roshi Universe 7 United. This is actually an interesting choice. So what this tells me is, once again, he was more worried about things like Green Gohan, where having 1 negate is very important, than go wide type stuff. Because if you look, he only played 3 Senzu Bean, which is also pretty interesting. That means, like I said, he was less scared about big go wide decks. And from what we know, he made the right choice, which is one of the reasons I think he did so well. He went through, and I believe he didn't drop a single game all tournament. Excuse me. And yeah. So let's see. 4 Tournament Power Arena, pretty obvious, and 4 Rival Seeker. So yeah, congrats to Anthony Figueroa. I think he made some very, very good deck building choices, and I definitely think this is the most powerful deck right now. I was actually very surprised that there wasn't more Invokers in the top 8. Like, once again, I really wish we got to see the metrics on how many actually entered, because I think this deck is the best deck, and I'm very surprised there weren't more in the top 8, but I'm not very surprised that he went through and won the whole tournament. So yeah, once again, congrats to Anthony. Congrats to PPG for running a good tournament. Everybody go out there, play some Super, and have some fun.